What determines our quality of life and quality of our results? It's our state of being. For example, there is a big difference if we decide to show up from a place of anxiety, which is overcompensation, or belief that we're not going to be okay in the future, we won't be able to handle it because we're not good enough, or we won't be good enough in that moment, versus a genuine curiosity and interest that is way more authentic in the moment, instead of trying desperately to overcompensate. The quality of our thoughts or solutions are determined by our quality of state of being. And for most of us humans, the default setting or conditioning is anxiety. Not feeling good enough about ourselves, feeling afraid that we will make a mistake, not wanting to be wrong. And this state of being determines that we are out of balance, that we are desperately trying to overcompensate, and it makes our life exhausting, very exhausting, and very inefficient. When there is anxiety, our mind is overloaded with thoughts, pressure, trying to figure out, trying to predict the future, which it means that we're disregarding the present thoughts in the moment. Because anxiety is always time-based. It's either coming from past or future, not being fine with the present moment, like overshadowing the present moment. But the thing is, when we can slow down our thinking in the present moment, that creates more space, that creates more or bigger or longer gaps between our thoughts, so our mind can slow down. And when our mind slows down, it's easier to let go our current or old thoughts and to allow new thoughts to come in, more quality thoughts, more creative thoughts. When our mind is not as loud, not as cluttered, not as overwhelmed, but instead slow, there are gaps between our thoughts, meaning thoughtless moments. That is the space where our creative, innate, adaptive intelligence can come through. And this intelligence is divine, part of us, the creator within us, that is available to us, all of us, always, as long as our mind slow down and there is a space. When there is space, then our intuition kicks in, creative impulses come through, new ideas, a sudden inspiration may occur because we have allowed it to come through, receive it, by granting it space. And the part of us that experienced not so easy childhood, let's say it like that, and that made us believe that our self-worth is minimal or almost nothing, that can create a challenge of accepting these creative impulses when they come through. Because often what will happen, our insecure part of ego, our mind will override these new fresh ideas or dismiss them or will doubt them, criticize them, not accept them. Just next. The paradox is the more we allow our mind to slow down, the more we can accelerate, to speed up, actually. And this innate intelligence, divine wisdom that is available to us any given moment, it allows us to take on any project. Doesn't matter how big or small it is, we can take any project because of this innate intelligence, adaptive ability. And we don't need to figure out all at once 20 steps. We just need to remain present, receptive, open, and just allow to come one step at a time through, and then follow it, and then receive the next one by one. It's not necessary to try to predict the future, which is impossible anyways. So yeah, this innate intelligence that is within us can allow us to take any project without us needing to know whether we're gonna succeed or not. And that gives us a more space to play more fearlessly. Often people tried real hard to come up with the so-called right step or thing to do, or predict the future, But if we're so anxiously focused on doing the right step, that usually slows us down, and that makes us to procrastinate, overanalyze, paralysis, analysis. This perfectionism wants to kick in because there is a fear that we don't want to fail, but this blocks us from taking action. It's far more important than we take action right away, and in the process we will receive immediate feedback. The faster we take action, the faster the feedback we have, the faster we can adapt or pivot where needed, when needed, if needed, versus stalling, postponing day after day, and tying up with the perfect recipe. It's very helpful that we can train ourselves or practice taking action ASAP in the moment, if possible, when the creative impulse arises, if possible, to follow up that immediately, because success loves speed. When there is this creative impulse, this divine impulse that has come through by this innate intelligence that is within us, divine creative spark, and if we decide to follow that, like, we are already on a momentum. It's like on a booster. It's like accelerating. It's powerful energy in that moment, versus if we decide to I'm gonna do it next week, like the momentum is down, it's gone, it's lost, it's not maintained, and then also after a week probably the inspiration won't be as high as it used to be. Maybe there won't be any at all. That's something that I have experienced in the past, or the content creation and other stuff. When we procrastinate and keep delaying and postponing, just lowers our confidence. So action over perfection. Get it out, bring out the creation. Don't wait for the ultimate perfection, because you'll never reach it. Never. It's an illusion.